Hello, Western Oregon sports fans, and welcome to this edition of Wolves Weekly. I'm joined this week by head men's basketball coach, Coach Stanger. Coach, thanks for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me. I enjoy being here.
Well, coming off, we're going to talk about some very positive things this week. Coming off a victory at the Capital City Classic, the inaugural year of this tournament for a couple local teams in the Salem area. Your first game, however, was somebody that was outside of that area, Pacifica. Tell me a little bit about that game.
Yeah. We hosted Pacifica. They were a unique team. We didn't know a lot about them, and so we weren't quite sure what to expect coming in, but they were very guard-oriented, and from that aspect were difficult to guard. You know, we sometimes had some situations where bigger guys were having to be able to contain smaller, quicker players, and that caused us a problem for a little bit, but I was pleased with our guys' efforts to make the adjustments regardless of the defenses that we were in, so that they were forcing them into some ill-advised shots, and we were able to overcome that.
Talk to me first about Kyle Long in the championship game.
Okay. We had talked last week that Kyle was still coming back from a small injury, and he was able to showcase more what he can really do this past weekend, and he had a real nice game against Willamette. Was able to shoot the ball well and keep us in contention, because the first half they were shooting the ball extremely well, also regardless of what defensive package we put on them. Kyle is very explosive and has an ability to get to the rim, and when he's shooting the three ball as well as he was the other night, he creates a tough matchup for people.
And talk about a tough matchup, that very first game against Pacifica. They had no answer inside for your big man, Colton Nelson.
No, they didn't. He did have a significant size advantage, and quite honestly, we didn't take advantage of that in the first half, but we settled down in the second half and realized where our strengths lie, and the guys did a nice job. Kyle, as well as some others, did a real nice job of finding Colton in there and making the good interior passes so that we could get a lot of really point-blank shots at the rim.
And we get to see some of those highlights right here. Colton going in for a layup right there. Very good job working the ball around. The man we saw bringing up the ball right there was Kyle Long's backcourt mate, Blair Whedon. Always important to have good point guard play. You guys were also able to get good scoring out of Blair Whedon this weekend. Tell me a little bit about his performance, combined for 39 points over the weekend.
Well, Blair has the ability to stretch defenses, and that's something that's really key. He also understands the game and the flow, and does a good job of getting other guys involved. And so because of that, we rely on him heavily. We do have some other guards that can step up and do some things, but really how we go is often based on his performance.
One of the other guys, Terrence Glenn, had a fantastic weekend, recording his first two career double-doubles in back-to-back games. Ended up having 15 rebounds in that first game, 16 in the second. Mentioning those boards from Terrence, that is one of the keys you guys have this year. Him hauling down 31 rebounds in 2 games is a very big point. I know that's a point of emphasis for you guys this year. You guys play a little bit of the zone defense, and so that can create not some difficulties, I don't want to say that for you, but just some unique challenges for you as a coach. So talk to me about rebounding being the first key you guys have going forward, and just some of the other keys you feel are out there.
Well, definitely rebounding is a key for us. We are spread out often in the different defensive schemes we run, and Terrence has done a nice job of taking up space and going and getting the rebounds. Chris White's another one that's done well, and Colton as well. One also that has done a nice job, although we didn't see him this past weekend, was Zach Davis. For the number of minutes he's played, he's been very active on the boards. All those guys have to be very, very active for us to be consistent and good, and they've got to be able to pull down, especially those defensive rebounds. Terrence has been explosive on both ends of the floor, and that's proved to be effective as well. But that's going to be a concern and a focus for us all season long. And right now, Terrence is real close to averaging a double-double in rebounds and points, and we look for him to be able to continue that.
And when you talk about defensive rebounds, that's what really ends the possession. You know, as a coach, defense doesn't matter. If they miss a shot, it's about securing that rebound and going with it that way. So just talk to me a little bit about your defense and what you're doing on that side of the ball right now.
Well, it's really important for us to get some transition baskets out of our defense and to really ignite our offense through our defensive play. And the best way to do that is to hold teams to what we call one and done. One possible option, one shot, and then we get the rebound and go. And then we look to push and get going. In Terrence this past weekend, earned what we call the Windex Player of the Week. You know, we try to put some emphasis on rebounding with our group, and he did a nice job, and so he earned that team award. And that's the type of effort we have to have consistently. And it has to be a focus because, as I said, we're spread out many times in our defensive packages. And so guys have to think about going and rebounding, and that's one of the most difficult things to do.
This week, it's a little bit of a unique week you guys have going forward. Start of GNAC play, which is always big, and we'll get right back to that one. But you guys have 3 games this week. You guys start off Tuesday. You guys will have Central Washington, November 30th, starting GNAC play in November. Wow. Yeah. And then the second one you guys will have on Thursday night, you guys play Multnomah Bible College here, or Multnomah University, I'm sorry, at 7 p.m. And then on Saturday, you guys come back, a part of a doubleheader with the women, unofficial doubleheader with the women. You guys will end up playing Northwest Nazarene at 4:30. So just talk to me a little bit. I want to hear about Central Washington really quick.
Well, we are having to get into league earlier than I think any of us want to, but that's because of the number of teams we have in the conference, and then also the fact that we do have a playoff system put in place at the end, so that shortens our season a little bit. And with everyone's finals schedules, we have to have this first conference weekend right now. The fact that we play Tuesday is a situation that was through some scheduling conflicts, and this is the date that we had to agree to play. And so, you know, we're just going to go and attack into it. Central is a very aggressive, very physical and athletic team, and they definitely pose some challenges. They've been in the top half of the conference consistently over the last few years. And so they'll definitely be a difficult opponent. They're a very, very good team. They recently beat number 11 team in the country, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them ranked soon. The thing we have going for us is we were able to beat them here last year in a very closely fought ball game. We talked about rebounds earlier. Rebounding was very instrumental last year in the game against them. I think we had 22 or 23 offensive rebounds against their team last year, and were able to come away with the win. And so this year we're going to have to be really attacking the glass hard, doing an excellent job at both ends of the floor there, and keep not only their forwards and their center at bay by rebounding well, but contain some of their quicker guards and keep their three-point shots to a minimum. So it'll be a tough challenge for us, but we're excited and looking forward to the opportunity.
We know everyone in the GNAC is a challenge. But however, you start off with GNAC play, and then you get another non-conference game right after that. Talk to me a little bit about Multnomah University.
That's a game that we had scheduled at a different time and then needed to be moved because of conference conflicts. And that's going to be a fun one for people to watch. They are a team that likes to really get up and down the floor. They average 73-point field goal attempts per game. That's all they shoot, and so that'll be adjustment for our team, where we're used to having to defend both inside and outside. Now we're having to exclusively guard on the perimeter, so it'll be a very interesting challenge for our guys. And then we go back into league play on the weekend against a very solid Northwest Nazarene team that has both good shooting guards as well as good post play. But you know, we like to think the stuff that we do is unique and is going to pose some challenges for those teams as well. And so I definitely feel we'll be competitive and look forward to the opportunity to go against those guys.
Well, fantastic. And we know that these are two, you really want to face these teams, play hard coming out, just start the season off on a good note. And we know one of those other ways to get a good note is to get some crowd atmosphere out of that gym. We'd love to have everybody out, students, community, anybody out that supports Western Oregon basketball. There are still tickets available for non-Western Oregon students. Western Oregon students are admitted free. For adults, they're $6. For non-Western Oregon students, they're $4. You can purchase them at the door or by calling the number you currently see on the screen. And we just hope to have a great year of Western Oregon basketball and hope to pack that gym and have some people out there to watch all of them.
Well, thank you. I think we've got a good product that's fun to watch, and we definitely need that home crowd to be with us, and that's fun. It's a great college environment, and we want to encourage everyone to come.
Well, thank you all for joining us on this edition of Wolves Weekly. Hope to see you next week.